Hi, my name is Kate Moreland. I'm the president of Iowa City Area Development Group, and I'm happy today to share a little information with you about my career path and what my experience has been throughout my career. So I will tell you first and foremost that I don't consider myself having had a career ladder, more of a career rock wall, which means I have changed careers. I have used my skills in a variety of ways, but always felt like there was a why to what I was doing that I felt passionate about and felt that my skills could help improve. So I'm going to share that rock wall with you and kind of how I've moved back and forth in different positions during the last several years. After I graduated high school, I attended Creighton University in Omaha, Nebraska. And when I went to college, I did not know what I wanted to be or what I wanted to do. So I took classes until I found an interest in psychology and decided that would be my major. After that, I decided I needed something in addition to that, so I decided to minor in business. So I left college with a degree in psychology and a minor in business administration. And it was about my junior year in undergrad at Creighton when I took a class called Psychology and the Law, and that really sparked an interest for me. I decided that I wanted to possibly go on to law school. Now, I will say that my dad was a lawyer. I knew lawyers growing up because of his practice. So that certainly played a role in it. But I genuinely had an interest at that point in how psychology and law kind of fit together. So I headed off to law school and spent 3 years in law school and didn't always love law school. Law school is a very hard discipline. It takes a lot of reading and writing. But I liked certain parts of law school. I liked the oral advocacy, trial advocacy work. And so my first career as a lawyer, I was a prosecutor. So I was in the courtroom every day, prosecuting crimes. I got to do jury trials and sentencing hearings, probation hearings, juvenile hearings. Had a lot of great experience in the courtroom. And I enjoyed that for a while, but it was also a very high stress environment. Sometimes on a Friday, I would find out I had a trial on Monday. And so I couldn't plan a lot of things in my life because it was always kind of this quick decisions, and I wasn't able to really schedule things. So that became kind of difficult. And so I decided to move on to private practice. So I did that then for the next several years in private practice. So some of the skills that you need to be a lawyer or that you perfect as a lawyer are communication, both writing and speaking. Logic, you need to be able to be very logical as a lawyer. Lots of critical thinking. You need to be a good problem solver. It's definitely training and being an advocate and standing up for things, being able to advocate for certain positions, sometimes ones you don't necessarily agree with, but because you are their lawyer, you need to advocate for their position. But the bottom line is it's a skill in helping people. And for me, that's what drew me to the profession. I wanted to help people. My mom was a social worker, my dad was a lawyer, and I always felt like I had a little bit of both of them in me. So that's how I really spent my years as a lawyer. Then I took a little break because life got in the way. And when I had my third child, took some time off and decided to teach. So one great thing about going to law school is it opens a lot of doors for you, and you may or may not practice law. You might go work for a business or a financial institution. I ended up doing some teaching at the law school, which I really enjoyed. So law can be a very good front door for a lot of different professions. After teaching for a few years, I was in a bit of a crossroads and I had decided to rethink my why. What is it I wanted to do next? and really decided it was time for me to leave the practice of law and move on to new endeavors. So I became what I considered myself to be an advocate for education. I worked for the Iowa City Community School District, where I did community relations, public relations, and I was able to use my legal skills of communication and problem solving and critical thinking in order to advocate for public schools. And I really enjoyed that work, and it was just a new way to look at my legal skills and how I could put them to use in a different setting. After a few years, I was approached by Iowa City Area Development Group, and that is economic development. And that's where I currently work and have for the last 7 years. So now I consider myself an advocate for the community overall. Economic development is really kind of a term that's hard to describe, but technically it's really a process by which the economic well-being and quality of life of a community are improved by targeted goals and objectives. So our job is really to support businesses and help them grow, bring new business to the area, help new businesses start, and help our population grow in order to fill jobs. So I get to do a lot of really cool initiatives in economic development. We often help companies like Geico who build new buildings and need to bring on more workforce. We help them find people. We help them cut their ribbon and announce that they are expanding their business. We help with the immigrant and international population, connecting them to job opportunities by being a welcoming community. So that's been a fun initiative. And then we also help in the realm of education, because we need to make sure that students know what types of jobs are here, what careers they could have in the Iowa City area. And so I have the opportunity a lot to work with students and educators around that type of information. So this was a STEM fair that we worked on, and it was really fun to be part of this with students and see their inventions. So lots of fun there. These are some of our clients. Iowa City Area Development Group supports interstate commerce companies. So they make something here and sell it outside the state. So Geico, as you know, is an insurance company. P&G makes hair care products and beauty products. ACT does all the testing and a lot of learning supports throughout the country and the world. And then Oral-B in Iowa City makes all of those electric toothbrushes that you get at Target. So those are the type of companies that we try to help grow in our community so that we grow the population here and that wealth from those companies stays here in our community. We also work a lot with startup companies. So we want people who have ideas for new inventions to be part of our community. We want those inventions to grow. ACT itself was actually a startup way back when. A professor at the university had an idea for a test to get into college, and that is how ACT was born. So that's a startup that is now one of our major employers. So we work a lot at Merge, which is an office downtown, around economic development and helping startups get their business off the ground. Some of the things I love about my job is I get to work with a lot of great people. This is actually a photo of our staff. I love supporting our community. I get to help with others create a vision for the future. I get to help now advocate for our community values throughout the area to ensure that we're there for our vulnerable population, that we're helping them find workforce opportunities and job opportunities. We value education, so I get to help advocate for that. So lots of great advocacy that I still get to do using my legal skills. And then obviously, like I talked about, supporting those new initiatives. So sometimes our team will come up with a new idea and we'll just run with it. And so that lets the job be really flexible. and interesting, and every day for me looks different. But with every job, there are also challenges. Some of my challenges are we need to always be kind of the group that works with lots of different viewpoints. And so we have to be good listeners. We sometimes have to mediate, which also makes my legal skills helpful, and be in the middle of different viewpoints. We need to meet expectations of different communities that we serve. Some cities want certain kinds of businesses, while others maybe don't want those kind of businesses. And we have to work within that framework to make sure we're meeting their needs. It's challenging sometimes to get funding for our work. We're a nonprofit, so we aren't designed to make money every year. We work as a nonprofit. It can also be challenging to know what to say no to. And then collaborating is always a challenge, but a really important thing to do to make progress. And then obviously our biggest challenge to date has been this global pandemic and what it may do to our overall economy and our local economy. And then lastly, if you want to work in economic development, here's what I would recommend. I would recommend volunteering with an organization that does that work. Do a job shadow or internship. Get a degree in urban planning, business, or psychology. And volunteer for lots of community nonprofit boards so you really understand the community needs and can be of service. So my final thoughts to you are really spend this time developing your skills. Ask yourself what problems you want to help solve. Be curious. Try new things. Practice skills like communication, collaboration, and creativity. And then talk to people about their jobs. You can get a lot of information from others, maybe outside your circle, your neighbors, your friends' parents. If you're interested, ask them what they do. What is it like? And remember, your first job, just like me, will certainly not be your last. So I wish you a lot of success in the future in finding your passion and purpose in life.